We are back, everybody. It's your girl, Lauren Rei, right here on What a Ice Radio. And it is my favorite time of the show. It is the Lauren Rei Live Let's Talk About It topic of the hour. And tonight, again, we have Sonia Lewis. She has created this wonderful company called The Student Loan Doctor. And I am just excited that you are here because I know a lot of people will have questions. And so many people, unfortunately, are in student loan debt that we need someone like you out here. So first of all, thank you for coming through to the Lauren Rei Live Show. We really appreciate it. So let's get started. I love asking all of my guests, who is Sonia Lewis? Like, who are you?
Darling, from Philadelphia, born and raised. I wanted to sing the whole song. I am super, I have like 6 personalities. I'm super silly, super serious, it depends on the day, the mood, the hour. No, don't count them out, okay? But I'm super excited about where I'm at in this journey and myself. So, long story short, from Philly, only child. That was fun. You really learn a lot about yourself and conversations with yourself. And the point is, I think it really worked and shaped my personality being only child. I tell it to people all the time because you gotta make some friends or you're just gonna be lonely
by yourself, right?
So me being an extrovert, although I technically am an ambivert, because even after we leave here, I'm gonna go be reclusive and be excited to be back by myself.
Really?
But it can turn on. It's the weirdest thing.
Never heard.
I don't see that.
I look up ambivert when you get a chance.
I don't see that in you at all.
I know you're not supposed to. This is why this is good. But when I get to myself, I'm like, oh, it's over. So, in any case, that's me. But I will say that being from Philly, especially in business, has taught me a few things, right? How to be, a hard little firecracker. But it also sometimes has been a little detrimental early in business, too, because I was saying at an event I was at recently, being trusting of other people or friendly right off the bat to other people, it's a little difficult. Now, friendly for business purposes, client-wise, I can do. But, like, let's say you wanted to talk to me about an opportunity or you wanted, I'm already like,
It's like,
really?
Let's go meet for dinner or let's grab a drink and
let's
go
have a 10-minute call first. And I know, and that's probably not good. It could really hurt business because people automatically like, let's get together for lunch. I'm like, no, let's do a call first.
You had to protect your image.
Well, yeah, that too. But in any case, went to school, Bowdoin High School. Then I went to Bloomsburg University for undergrad, which was really fun. Master's, working on my doctorate.
Nice.
And I always share that my business was the best accidental business. This was never intended. No one ever woke up and said, let's take on Sally Mae. When I met you, was I talking about? I was not about anybody Sally Mae, right? So it's just accidental.
Yeah, that's good. So that's a good segue to my next question. Mm-hmm. So were you actually in student loan debt before you started this business?
I'm still in student loan debt. I think that's a big, so I'm paying off my doctorate. Yeah, I don't know. So unless a big check come in from Ford tomorrow, I speak that into existence. It just takes one big check to wipe this out.
Right?
So no, I mean, my business is new. So I think the misconception is because it's so popping and it looked like it's been around for a while, it's only 2 years old.
Yeah, 2000.
And for real, it's only 1 year old as a full-time business.
Wow.
The first year was a lot of hustle and brand exposure.
Okay.
But it's really only been 1 year of business. And so the business does really well, but I still have employees and overhead. So my student loans won't be getting cleared this year.
I got you.
I speak that in about 5 years.
I like your transparency that you tell people, even though I'm the student loan doctor, I'm in student loan debt as well. Yeah, I get it. I mean, look, we all out here struggling a little bit here and there, right? Mm-hmm. So with that, when did you decide that you wanted to do something proactively about your student loan debt and how it evolved to this?
So 2013 was my financial awakening year, my 444 year, I call it, right?
Okay.
So in 2013, my grandmother passed away quite suddenly of a heart attack.
Okay.
I was with her at the time she passed. And for me, I think everyone should probably think about, like, who's your financial safety blanket? Like, if something happened right now, there might be, for most people, not for everyone, someone you could call.
Right.
Mom, grandma, so forth. So for me, it was my grandmother. When she passed away, like a week later, like, it hit me like a bag of rocks. Like, there's no grandmother. Like, there's no, and it, again, it would be something simple like, oh, I just need $30 to like get paid. So I never not made good money. I mean, literally, I always have been a hustler since I was 17. I worked at Sears.
Right.
And I sold Sears appliances. And so at 17, every 2 weeks, I was getting $1,200 checks. So I knew how to get some money since 17. So I always had money, right? But I always had bad spending habits because no one ever taught me how to spend money.
That's
right? So as I got older, that never got fixed. And I thought the solution to my problem was more money. So I had literally 3 jobs. I used to work at the college down the street. I was an academic, an adjunct professor. I worked at Ashley Stewart on some days. And on other days, I did taxes. I had 4 jobs. Wow. And I still didn't have enough. No, I just had a spending problem.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but like, that's a lot of people out here, right? I know tons of people who work in corporate America and have really good jobs, make 6 figures, but they're still robbing Peter to pay Paul, but don't want to admit that the issue that they have is that they have a spending problem, not that they don't make enough money. I was literally just talking to my brother the other day about people budgeting. No one really likes to budget and make an actual budget about everything that they owe and stuff like that. We were talking about tithing. We were talking about something different, but we were talking about how people don't really put anything down in their budget. They try to do everything in their head. That they should actually do an actual budget to see how much you're actually really spending to get an idea of everything like that. Go ahead.
No, I think the problem is, at least with me, is that you make your budget, but you just go over it. Like when you know you have the ability to go over your budget, it's like I know I shouldn't buy these sneakers, but I can. It's not going to hurt me. That's my life. Like 20 years down the line, am I really going to care about this $50, $100, $20 on these sneakers? If I do what I'm supposed to do when I'm 50, I don't care about this. And you make that choice over and over and over again.
And doesn't that kind of go into people? I'm one of those people. I'm not going to lie. I've never put my student loans into my budget. And I think a lot of people don't because we put them off. Yeah,
it doesn't matter until it matters. So for us, we're wildly popular when it's time to buy a home or right when they got the letter that they're about to go on your check.
Yep.
So that's what...
Me. That's me. Yep. That's when I was crying on the floor like, Lord, better take my money.
That's when it happens. But before then, it's a problem because the thing is...
Take your money?
It's called.
So you don't know
about that. Yeah, we're gonna get to that though because I have questions about that. So you had your 444 moment.
Yes.
Unfortunately, your grandma passed away.
But she would be so proud of me. Like
I'm sure. So how did you decide to come up with the business?
Okay, so long story short, I went to a program called Financial Peace at Epiphany Fellowship Church here in Philly. I always shout them out because I think they're awesome. Really like a good millennial-based church here in the city. Went to church. They had the class. Funny story is, I'm not a member. I wasn't a member. I'm still not a member, but I called them up. And I was like, hey, I saw online that you're running this class about how to get your finances together. How do I join? Like, are you a member? No, but I love the Lord. She's like, okay, let me call and make sure we're taking outside guests. I think that'll be okay. Like, I'm telling these people. She said, well, the class is 100. I said, oh, no, I don't have 100. See, that's why I want to enroll in the class. So... This is a true story.
I'm broke. That's why I'm coming to the finances class.
Praise God, she let me negotiate with her. I said, well, here's what we could do. How long is the class? She said 9 weeks. I said, I could do $11 payments. And I was so serious.
You did not divide that up.
So I wound up doing $20 payments. I think they might forget the last two. I don't really know. Anyway, they gave me a book at the end, an extra book, because I was like the most diligent.
I love it.
Class. I was
because you didn't pay for class.
No, I did wind up paying, but they gave me a gift at the end. I don't know. The point is, it was the thing that changed my life, and it's helping me change other people's lives.
Good.
So I always say, if you ever need me to come back and speak, whatever.
So did you learn from that class, or that's how you learned how to?
So Financial Peace really changed my life because it taught us how to budget, taught us how to get our money together. It really just was like the class that I never had or had been exposed to. I was so on fire that within 90 days, because the 9-week class, 9 times 7, 60 days, my credit score. It went up, I would say, by 90 points. I had paid off at like $3,000 in debt. I sold every purse, anything that was designer that was around me too long. I sold it because I wanted to pay my credit cards off. Like, I was really intense about this debt.
You was in beast mode.
Yes, and my credit score was really, really super, super duper high, higher than it's ever been. Because I was just like, I got to get this debt off you. Like, I couldn't even sleep. I would get up in the middle of the night and think about how I could make some extra money to pay X, Y, Z off. Like, I had charts everywhere on the fridge. I was really intense. So intense that I flew myself out to Vegas to meet Dave Ramsey and his team. And I got a round trip ticket, airfare, hotel, rental, everything for $400. I don't know how I got that deal.
Yeah,
but I get out
what year
there,
was
he
that?
was like, oh, he was like, well, what can we send you back home with? Like, he's like, thank you for sharing your story with us. I said, oh no, I don't need anything. I have all your books already. I have the whole collection. I said, I just wanted to meet you and say thank you for changing my life. And I said to him, I can't make this up. I said, and don't worry. I said, you'll see me again in the future. So like 4 events later, I saw him as the student loan doctor. He was like, you look really familiar. He said, I meet a lot of people, but I can't forget your face. And I was like, I met you, and I told him. And so
Wow.
I speak into existence. I'll be working on their platform soon.
Full circle. I love it.
I do.
I really, really do. So we're going to transition into a break really quick because we do have some more questions where more so advice. So a couple questions from some viewers that have about student loan debt. Because I think your story is really dope. You had to be really in a different place to be like, I'm going to sell everything I have to get myself out of debt. But we're going to jump into more of the school loan stuff because a lot of people have a lot of questions they don't know. They think that's the best thing to do is either go in deferment or forbearance or try to set up a payment plan that they still can't afford to pay or different things of that nature. So we got some good questions for you coming up. All right.
Great.
So the next song, Jay, this is your song too. I was shocked that you picked this song.
Lovers and Friends?
Yeah. This is no. That's not the next song.
Oh, it's not?
Your next song is T-Pain. I'm Sprung.
Oh, I'm from Tallahassee. Well, Family's from Tallahassee. T-Pain's from Tallahassee.
That's why they played this song a lot.
They played this was freshman year anthem before he even came up north. It was just
Really?
yeah, it's T-Pain. Yes, definitely.
All right, let's get into it, guys. You know what it is already. Your girl Lauren Rei right here on What Ice Radio. We'll be right back. We are back, everybody. It's your girl Lauren Rei right here on What Ice Radio. And again, we have Sonia Lewis here. She is the student loan doctor. We thank her for coming on. Let me jump right into some of these questions that we do have. Student loan forgiveness programs. There's like all these people on social media. There's people that call your phone, emails, all type of solicitation in regards to that.
Yes.
Are they legit?
So here's I'm going to answer it twofold. It's not that they're not legit. They're companies that have access to your data per your Census Bureau data, or, there are reports that you can buy that would indicate you may have a student loan problem or issue. Like, for example, I have a tool that tells me which zip codes here in the city of Philadelphia are most burdened by student loan debt. So if I were to do any advertising or if I was to do any mail campaigns, I know which one I'd be mailing them to.
Okay.
You might receive it and say, oh, she's talking to me. No, the data I have said I was talking to this area.
I got you.
So calls can be the same way. You have to be careful because a lot of times companies will charge you $1,000 and $20, $50 a month, and then they might disappear and rename themselves when they get banged, and then we open up under another name. So you just have to be super careful with who you give your information to, and if you can afford $1,000, you could probably afford to get your loans intact. So you got to be mindful when it comes to that. I will give myself my own shout out here that we are doing a free webinar tomorrow on this topic.
Nice.
So if you're watching live or you hear it live, we're doing a public service loan forgiveness webinar at 9 p.m. and the link is still active to register. They go to Instagram, the student loan doctor is there, or Eventbrite. The purpose of why I do a lot of these free webinars and topics is to really dispel those myths.
Okay.
So it is a real program. So forgiveness is great. You do need to enroll ASAP because it can change. The Trump administration is planning to phase it out.
Okay.
And then what the thought is that those people will be grandfathered in.
So when we say forgiveness, is it like poof, they're gone? How does that work?
It's usually contingent upon a 10-year repayment.
Okay.
That will lead to forgiveness at the end of 10 years.
Okay. It sounds like bankruptcy almost.
Yeah. But the thing is, so let's say someone owes $60,000. They're probably not in a place to pay that monthly amount that they're requesting.
Right.
So let's say your payment comes down to a $101 a month. That's just paying on the interest.
Right.
At the difference of that, the $40,000 or the $50,000, that's what would be forgiven.
Okay. So I like to speak things into existence like you. So what if I get into one of these forgiveness programs, but I become a millionaire the next year and I want to pay all this stuff off? Am I binded to be in this, or is this something that I can pay off at any time? Okay.
Yeah, you can pay it off at any time. I received that too.
Are you still accruing interest at this point?
Me or
no? In these student loan.
Yeah, so you still accrue interest. So an income-based repayment plan is what's necessary to be in the program. Income-based repayment plans are only paying on the interest.
Okay.
That's it. And a lot of people will call and say, I'm in this income-based payment plan. I'm like, what's your amount? $60. Sis, you borrow 80,000 and you're paying 60. Logically, you're only paying the interest if that.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So we talked about this a little bit, Jay. You don't know about garnishments. So garnishments are, from what I know about garnishments, basically once you don't pay your student loans, they can go in something called default. And when they go into default, they can then go into your paycheck and take out their money without your permission, basically.
270 missed days leads you into default.
Yes.
Once you've been in default for a while, and I always say a while because everybody's default timeline is different, you can then enter into garnishment. Now, it's not the same for everyone because it might be easily accessible to get your employer's information where it might be difficult to get hers. So you could technically go into garnishment quicker than she would. Okay. It just depends on how they can access the information.
Right. So one of the questions that everyone has, is it possible, is it legal? We know that it's legal. Is it a certain amount that they cannot go over when you're doing garnishments?
15% of your discretionary income.
Okay.
If you have a private loan, they could take up to 25%.
Wow, really?
So what is the discretionary income?
Great question. So discretionary income, there is no real definition. I'm not being funny.
That's why.
So here's how it's thought of. When it comes to how much you make in salary, the government's perception is student loan, housing, car. We perceive car, housing, student loans. Just being honest.
Yeah.
So when people come to me and say, well, I got my car note and my house note, I hear you. But the way that the government perceives,
they want their money first.
It's always at the top of mind.
That's interesting. So is it a way to get a garnishment stopped?
It is, actually. So that's the problem. A lot of times people just wait until it hurts too much to get it stopped. But they just need to hear from you. The reason why I made it to garnishment is because you gave them no proof of verification.
Now, who needs to hear from you? The people that...
Your lender.
Your lender. That's what okay.
Your lender needs to hear from you. And it's oftentimes that when you're not making that much money, that's the best time to communicate. I'm not making that much money.
I got you.
So that they're not coming after you.
Good stuff.
Back in the day, it was tough. Like, so I took out small loans, but you had so many different loan companies that you didn't know you were getting the little small loans from. And now you have automatic payments. But before it was, you had to call up and mail it in.
Well, you also were in school during the time 02 to 07, where that's the Bush administration.
Yeah.
That's when he privatized and allowed small banks to come in and manage on behalf of the government federal loans, which means there was an extra fee that was placed on top of your school loans. You didn't have any, but your school loans at that time. So if you were in school in 02 to 07, that time period, your loans were extra hiked up, 1 in interest and 2 in fees, because PNC could manage, Wells Fargo could manage. When the Obama administration came in, they wiped clear all of the small companies that were in the midst and gave it all back to the government.
Wow.
Right? And it cut out the middleman, which allowed and freed up more money. So literally, let's say a student was eligible for $2,000. By the time that check made it to their school, it came down to $1,500, not $2,000, because $500 of that got ate up in fees by PNC and so forth. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So they ruled them out. So that's why a lot of companies in the private sector was mad at the Obama administration. And Obama's administration doesn't get a lot of credit. They actually did a lot of things. 1, they increased the Pell Grant. And 2, they lowered the interest rate on a lot of the federal loans. And they also put a protection in place with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the Consumer Financial Protection, CFPB. If you are an American citizen, everybody needs to know about them. Say it again, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That is the agency that oversees all things related to money.
Okay.
So if you had a complaint with a credit card company, a bank, the highest place you could take it, separate from the government, is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Why is this important? One of the first things that Trump did when he got into office, because nobody cares or paid attention to anything, was he wiped out the department that oversaw and managed the relationship between the lenders and the government. What does that mean? Well, lenders used to have to give a report that said they got this many complaints. They handle it this way. It's like a balanced check system.
So now they don't have to do that?
Right. So when people call us and say, no one ever sent me a letter, I believe you is the first thing I say to them, because as of like January 20th, it got wiped out.
Ooh.
They all got laid off.
Good stuff.
So people need to vote.
Well, you need to know. And so let's go back to that. DeVos, who's in office, DeVos, she's queen, wipe them out because she owns so much stock and share in Navient.
That's smart. You can buy stock.
I did buy some Navient stock.
Oh, I'm buying it tonight.
I'm not gonna be a student loan doctor and not buy no stock. Now,
I need to get some stock tonight.
Wow,
I did buy some Navient stock just because I understand that when she got in office, she ain't gonna let her baby fail.
I'm gonna look that thing up right now.
Crazy. All right, so good on the garnishment stuff, because a lot of people, whether they want to admit it or not, those garnishments hit, and they really think like, oh well, I just might as well let them take it at this point. It's never gonna stop.
Because that's 30% a month that's coming out, where you can get it reduced to 10% a month.
Okay, so you can at least get it reduced, if not stopped.
Is that gross or net?
Well, it's gonna be taken based off of your net once they take it out. Yeah.
So moving on really quick, student loans and bankruptcy, or just credit in general. Are student loans forgiven if you are going through a bankruptcy?
No, they're protected.
Okay.
So this gets back to this. I was telling you about with that Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Well, for the first time ever in American history, Navient, a federal lender, was actually taken to court by different citizens. There was a class action lawsuit. I know that we all heard about that at one point, but it went silent. Anybody want to know why it went silent?
Why?
It went silent because the people working on it got what? Laid off. So that work shifted. Think about if somebody at your job got laid off. Who gonna get the work? You might have. But they already had other work to do. So now what they did was they slowed down the process. The court case is still pending, but the work to get it approved and through in court is now going to be delayed, if that makes sense. So I was saying all that to say that this was the first time in American history where it was actually entertained and looking favorable that those that had federal cases against a big student loan company was going to win. That's huge. That means a lot of people's student loan debt could be wiped clear.
Right. You just have to do
now, but in general, right now, if you go to bankruptcy, your loans would be what's called protected and not put into repayment, and then you get a special forbearance supply where you wouldn't accrue as much interest, so they would be in a bubble.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that F word, forbearance, right? So is putting your loans into forbearance a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a cuss word in my office. So forbearance is the thing that people use to delay repayment, right?
Absolutely.
And so it is a permissible thing because there are different types of forbearance. For example, when we had weather-related issues like Houston, there were economic deferments or there were weather hardship-related forbearance. There were different things you could use. But the one you're talking about is the one where you call, you know what, I'm not going to pay it this month. Just give me like 3 more months. That's called general forbearance. You only get 36 months of general forbearance in the lifetime of your loans. And I hope that everyone I encounter lives to age 100. That means you only have 3 years to run through it. After you run through your forbearance, you don't get any more. It's over.
So at some point, it's going to end.
It goes into mandatory repayment when it hits the 270. You see how it goes.
Right. And so basically, you need to hold on to those when you really need it. Is that what you want to say?
Right.
Okay.
So is that per loan, or is it if I get a loan for undergrad, I get 36 hours. If I get a different loan for grad school,
each loan is separate, and each loan has 36.
But if I'm in grad school, I don't have to pay.
That's
my
called
loans
deferment.
That's
Back.
deferment.
But do I still have to pay but when I'm in grad school, I heard that I don't think I have to pay my loans back, or don't they get paused when you're in school?
That's called deferment. So when you're in school, your loans are deferred. That means the government is paying for your subsidized interest.
So how long can I stay in grad school, and how many hours
As
do I
long
need
as
to?
you need to stay in grad
So
school.
if I got 9 hours, can I just take 9 hours
for grad school? You have to take at least 6 credit hours to be considered in school by the government to have your deferment.
But
applied.
that's more money the longer that you're in grad school, that's the more money that you're taking out.
I call it the forever plan.
But if you can work out a way that you can go to grad school for free.
So so let's say you go to grad school and you're taking at least 6 credits, whoever paying for it doesn't matter. You can still be deferred, but you're still accruing interest on your unsubsidized loans. So
that doesn't stop.
Loans. Yep. Subsidized, which the government will cover the interest for, and unsubsidized, which means you're responsible for day one. I see where you're going with it. And here's the problem. A lot of the clients that I see don't get jacked up from undergrad loans. It's graduate school loans. And we live in a city, ironically, the student loan doctor was birthed in the city of Philadelphia, where we're surrounded by colleges. So no wonder the business is doing well in this city.
Your business is booming.
Because everybody's here. Or you could get here.
Right.
Or you're in the surrounding area. And we also do really well with no paid advertising in Atlanta. Because everybody goes there for school, right?
That makes
or
sense.
millennials move there as one of the booming cities. So in New York too. So wherever colleges are, we'll always have a location in mind. Because that's where we're going to do well. Because that's where, you know what I mean? That's where the student loan debt is. So Philadelphia definitely is one of the cities with the top student loan debt. I think Boston might be number one.
That makes sense.
It does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to take a really quick break, and when we come back, I have some questions about the business.
Mm-hmm.
Who's a good client for the student loan doctor?
Yes.
And we'll get into that a little
Okay.
bit. So this song next is another HU anthem. It probably was a anthem everywhere. Does everybody remember Wayne Wonder, No Letting Go?
Yes.
They played this song, and another song they couldn't play anymore. So we're going to rock to that really quick. And when we come back, we got more with Sonia Lewis, everybody. It's your girl, Lauren Rei, right here on What a Ice Radio. I got my boy, J to the Jones from GVO Philly. I still getting it right. You told me that it was going to be too much, but I got it. We'll be right back, everybody. We are back, everybody. It's your girl, Lauren Rei, right here on What a Ice Radio. And this interview is so good. We are almost waist deep into the interview with Sonia Lewis, the student loan doctor. So we have some more questions in regards to the actual business.
Sure.
So do you have a particular clientele that would be a good fit for the student loan doctor?
Yes. I would say we mostly work with women, mostly African American women.
Really?
Ages 25 to 45.
That's the demographic. So are those most of the people that are reaching out to you?
Yes. That is who mostly follows us, engage with us, but statistically, that's because,
They go to college.
well, that is who is most agreed in the U.S. And so
Okay.
that statistic never made it to Love and Hip Hop. Is
Ah.
what I tell people. And so I just always tell people that we really don't think about African American women that much in terms of education and numbers, but that is who has the most student loan debt in our country and the most degrees as well.
Speaking of African American women,
Mm-hmm.
you are the first African American woman to have a student loan debt business.
Yes.
How does that feel?
And so I'm not the first to have a student loan debt business because there are specialists in terms
Okay.
of a company. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So correct me. So it's that
So-
fact is not right.
So first African American and woman-owned student loan repayment company.
Okay.
Yes.
Got you.
No, there are other professionals that I credit that were doing this work that are older than me that's been doing it for a while.
Okay.
I think that we took off and got the buzz that we did because one, I am a millennial.
Okay.
That's who's most burdened. Two, I am African American, although my chinky eyes, my grandfather was part Asian, but you know, I'm not going to do a tiger in this moment. And then the other part about it is that at the end of the day, the platform really is just, I think you feel like you get a hug almost when you come to the page.
I got
like
you.
somebody's not judging you. Somebody understands.
Gotcha. Good
Mm-hmm.
stuff right there. So can you help everyone, or is there certain things that you have
there
to?
are like 3 clients in my mind that we could not help, and that's because they burned through all of their options.
Okay.
I mean, but they kind of came in knowing that they burned everything.
Okay.
And I still think about them because it's terrible, like when you get to that place. But most people are not at that place. That's the good news.
Okay.
I would say since we've been in business, we probably helped over like 5. No, I'm lying. Let's do January. What's this? June. So we probably have helped, I would say close to 7,000 people at this point. with their
Okay.
loans. Because of the Shade Room, we were very boutique in the numbers in which we served. It was good. The payroll was made. I was like, oh, this is good. And then
So how did that come about? How did the
changed
Shade
the game.
Room come about?
because I made a meme going into Black History Month where I said it was myself and my small team. We're in a picture like, and it was like first African. So then blogs started to pick it up, right? And then roommates started sending it to the
Tagging.
Shade Room, if that makes sense.
Yes, I know exactly what that means. They
Yes.
start tagging you, targeting.
And then the
Shade
Shade Room, Maisha, who I love, called me and was like, "This is Maisha from the Shade Room. I thought it was a prank." And I'm like, "Okay, she's for real." And she said, "Tell me your story." So that pitch is important because I had to tell the story literally in like 30 seconds. Love it, posting it. Okay, thank you. And then like
That was
night she
it.
dropped it, and I had an old phone then, and I thought it was gonna crack or break apart because it was like literally stuttering. Like my phone kept closing Instagram. It was crazy that night because it was overwhelmed by all the notifications. Yeah. And I was like, and so literally I remember I had 10 minutes of paralyzation where I sat like this in my office.
Like, what's happening?
And I was with my best friend because she came right away when it dropped, because obviously she understands the importance of the shade room. So she there looking crazy like, what the happened? And then we just can see all the likes, and it got like 30,000 likes, like up to 50. And then and I couldn't move, and she like feeling on my neck like she's breathing. I remember being like legit paralyzed. It was funny.
Was that like a real defining moment for you?
It was a validation moment. So what's scary is, this is why I'm very serious about when I speak. So the jokes that I make, I'm so serious about when I say certain things, because on January 5th, I put on my Facebook, this is my media year. And when somebody tagged me back to it, because this all happened like the 15th, 16th of January, I bust out crying because I literally told the world this was my media year. I'm like, tag all podcasts, and so for that to happen, it all just kind of made sense.
So after that, there was what Jay likes to say, the Steve Harvey effect.
Yes.
So how did that come about as well?
No, tell me the Steve Harvey effect, Jay. Tell me again.
I don't know. Like wait, did you go on Steve?
It's not like
Steve Harvey show mentioned it. Like the Ricky Styles show mentioned it.
Is this like kind of when you reach that point where people that aren't in your circle, aren't checking for anything you're doing, know who you are? So it's like it's like the common person knows, like, oh shoot.
No, I'm not that deep. So when I go to certain cities,
I love it.
Not that deep. When I go to certain cities, what I'll get now is, and not to be funny because I share with you offline, I did lose a lot of weight in the last few months. So when the picture dropped, it was right when the weight loss surgery had just happened. So I was literally starting to slim down. But now it's a dramatic, if I showed you a picture, which I can, from then and now I lost about 65, 70 pounds. That's like a different person. My face was fuller, my hair was different. So now when people see me, I'll get this look with a squint, and then they might walk up on me like, are you the student loan doctor? And it's always women in the age 30 area.
Okay.
In the different cities it happens. When it first dropped here in Philly, I'm still thinking it's regular. I don't care. I went to Walmart, and 3 women, like no lie, bum rush and hug me. And I was like, and I really don't like hugs. So me, it's like fight or flight. I didn't know if I was going to have to hit this girl. I didn't know what was happening. Right. And I was with my friend like, it's a hug. I'm like, oh, that's what this is? I didn't know what it was. And she's like, thank you. It was good.
But the city was so like, I remember when it happened, the city was just so hype and proud. Like,
yeah,
like
they definitely were.
Anybody from Philly that
I was like, hey, I know her.
I reposted. So what's funny is I actually know a lot of people from different circles, like the Urban League, and so I think when it happened, I felt like we all had a part in it, or a win with it, because one, it does pay to be a nice person before or after something, right? So I was like, shout out to people really liking me, because I was like, I was a nice person before this happened, and I still am a nice person. I'm a little more firm as to one who I get my number to now, because I get all type of Jeepers Creepers requests and things, and people want to sit and talk to you about everything. And then 2, not even that I'm busy, because I'm not tripping on my time too much, but what I am tripping on is my mental capacity, right? So when the shift happened, the elevation occurred, I had to go from being a coach, and I hired 6 people, so we have 6 coaches, 1 admin, so I am a manager of 7, right? To CEO. So now there's different responsibilities. So I wasn't so much before bogged down with those responsibilities because it was small. It was boutique. Right. But now I do have to fly every other week to somewhere. I am getting paid speaking requests, and so I might have to cancel something that you originally asked me to do super free, which I would love to do. But I'm not trying to be funny. If a $5,000 check comes through, I'm going to have to tell you. So what I had to start doing was giving people contingencies. Like, I knew I would be here, right? So this is perfect. You know how we went back and forth.
Yeah.
But then if you're asking me to do something for free 3 months out, I can't say yes to that. We don't know what's going to happen in 3 months. Literally every day something comes to the email address.
Oprah.
Well, I do speak Oprah into existence. I do. I really do.
That's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
So you have to be careful, like, and so you don't want to get brand new on people. But what I had to say to some people that I care to explain myself to is there are a lot of things changing that I'm not even at the will of anymore. So no, I cannot make the cookout that I once wanted to make, if that makes sense. And that's okay too, because your real friends, they'll be fine.
They're not gonna worry about that.
Your real peoples ain't gonna worry about it.
And the other ones, they all right too. You just see them on the gram.
So we're going to wrap it up soon. But before we go to a quick break and then wrap it up, I do have one last important question for you. What would you actually say to the person who wants to go to college or wants to continue on their education, but they really can't afford it out of pocket, of course, but they are afraid of going into it because of getting into student loan debt?
Well, I think we need to live where our wallet tells us to live. And so the problem that I'm seeing at my table 4, 6, 8 years later is the problem that was at the very beginning, living beyond our means.
Okay.
So what happens is a lot of us come from what's called the sticky middle, where our families were not poor enough to receive all Pell, right? But no, first off, you can't even get all Pell now. You could have got Pell when Pell was really given. But nowadays, you got to be super below the poverty line to get all Pell to cover some stuff, right? And then what I'm seeing is a lot of times we see and this is the problem, we see middle-class families at the table. They might have good credit, right? So mom is in her 50s, 60s, got her credit up, right? Guess what? Mom feels bad. She feels bad because she doesn't have any money for college for her son. So now mom is re-signing up for the Parent Plus loan, mortgaging her home, signing for the private loan. And so that's why African Americans in general will never get ahead of the financial curve because you are re-signing up for the debt that parent just got out of. Does that make sense?
I mean, I'm not really trying to answer my own question, but everyone should always look into scholarships, grants like this gentleman over here
SAT prep
did when he went to college.
Prep.
But there's other alternatives other
scholarships. Stop, and I hate when people go community college. You might need to be there because first off, community colleges, especially like where I used to work at Montgomery County. What? That college is
You
winning.
worked in Monco?
No, I worked there for 3 months, and the Lord told me it was time to go.
We'll talk about that offline. But no, seriously. And then there's nothing wrong with community college.
No.
I don't know why people.
And more millionaires graduate from state colleges anyway. That's just
it's just that perception. It's kind of sad. Like
it is. It is really sad.
Like you realize, I took classes at CCP. CCP was actually like more expensive than in-state for my school, for people in-state in Florida. But the same professors that teach every university and college and the transfers, but you're going to pay $40 a credit hour versus $100.
Absolutely.
Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
It doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't. So that's a really good segue for our break. And then when we come back, we want to do the Lauren Rei Live wrap up. And Sonia, we want to know what's next for you.
Okay.
All right. So it's your girl Lauren Rei right here on Water Ice Radio. We will be right back. We are back. It's your girl Lauren Rei right here on Water Ice Radio. I got my boy Jay to the Jones with me from GVO Philly. Also got Sonia Lewis, the student loan doctor, here in the building. And we are about to wrap this up. It's been so much fun having you here. We always want to say thank you for even doing our trending topics with us. We do have a really good time around here. But most importantly, what's next for you?
So super excited. Some great opportunities are coming up. Local news. Been working on some projects here in the city with that, doing some segments. We'll be at Essence soon. So when I know that there's an article, I will be sure to post that. Next, I would say we just want to get bigger and more intent with our platform.
Okay.
We really want to vamp it up a notch. So we have 33,000 active followers. Like, these are real people. I stayed up all night when the glow up happened to look at everybody. I really want to engage these people because they're real, and I really want to get to a solution for them. So I'm looking to do more activities where we can get group buy-in. I would love to see meetups happen around different parts of the country because I have the flexibility to travel and catapult those things. I want to do something big in the city to kick off going back to school. So I'm thinking about big, large-scale events to really champion people, but more so to encourage them.
Okay.
Professionally, for me, I'm super excited about the team. The next stop for me is to open a location in Atlanta. I go often because I'm scouting locations. I'm scouting what that looks like, really intentionally building my network in Atlanta.
Okay.
Because, again, I don't think that I could do as well as I did if I didn't have a good support system already in place.
So you're going to have a team there and here as well.
I will, but more importantly, I need some people to help share and spread it when it opens up, right? So that's why you do see me in Atlanta like at least once a month. At the breakfasts, at the womenpreneur events, you know how those things go.
Yes.
So Atlanta will be dropping for 2019, so I'm excited about that. Personally, I did share with you about the weight loss surgery, so I just look, forward to just continue to get snatched,
Yes.
I do because I'm really excited. Literally, I've been in the gym twice a day since, I would say, the past 3 weeks. Because the surgery is just a tool, and it's a lifestyle change where you got to pick up and decide to put in the work. And because I did 3 weeks twice a day, my friend debates with me about this, is what he says. But I went from a size 18 to a 14 in 3 weeks. I don't even have anything that says 16 because I just skipped. So he believes I just should have brought clothes between it. I'm like, but in 3 weeks, nobody goes to buy a new clothes guide. They just went straight to a 14. So I'm looking forward to shopping at the little girl stores that I always wanted to shop at. Judge yourselves right now. But America is based on perception. And so if I look well, or if I look smaller, you're going to perceive that my knowledge is greater, which is BS. But that's America, and we signed up for it, right?
That's right.
So I'm looking forward to what that might behold in opportunities. And I just wanted to be a healthier me.
I was going to say that. What about just being healthier?
You know, the Miami airport, Atlanta airport, that's a lot of walking. Nobody talks about that. You got to get, I don't know jet money yet, so I got to get off. I got to take the train to this. And I mean, halfway through, I was tired. I had to take a break. And well, so I'm looking forward to no more.
You look great. So whatever you are doing, keep it up. Where can the people find you on social media or the website?
Yes, so we always have fun on Instagram. We do a lot of foolery, but a lot of good facts there. The Student Loan Doctor. The website is the Student Loan Doctor LLC. If someone's listening and they know they need an appointment, doctorpleasehelpme.com. I just made it super simple, easy. I was like, you'll remember that, doctorpleasehelpme.com.
And plug that free webinar tomorrow.
Yeah, so again, if you're watching, you're listening, the free webinar, we're almost at capacity, but there's a few seats left. It's going to be on the Federal Student Loan Forgiveness Program tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. I teach the course myself. You can always catch the replay if that's not something you can do.
And how do they sign up?
They can go through the Instagram link or it's on Eventbrite.
Gotcha. Good stuff.
Or slide in my DM. I do respond late night hours and just slide you back.
Oh, again, I really appreciate it.
Not in the wrong way.
Way to correct yourself.
Yeah, I was like, no, need those. No.
You
Somebody's like, I'm going to shoot my shot.
Child, they tried. I'm like, you ever seen the long question?
The what?
Emoji eyes?
No, I can't. You're crazy. All right, again, thank you for coming on, Sonia. J to the Jones, thank you for being here. Thank you for being my co-host tonight. Let them know where they can hang out with Good Vibes Only.
We got Daycation this Saturday. We're at Hot Lounge every Friday.
Yes.
Black-owned business. Come down, support.
Oh, yes.
Good stuff. Where can they find Good Vibes Only on social media and stuff? This is your time.
Oh, my bad. Instagram, J to the Jones. Also, Instagram at GVOPHL. Good Vibes Only Philadelphia. GVOPHL. We try to keep it simple. See you Friday or Saturday.
All right, everybody. That is it. It's your girl, Lauren Rei, right here on Water Ice Radio. And never forget, not all superheroes wear capes. Sometimes they wear headphones, everybody. Have a good night.